He's referring to the physics lab and covert ops. Oh, there you go. There you go. He's referring to the science facility add-ons. Not mistaken. As spawning in the top side here of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have at the bottom, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Brutal Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3-point. We go. So it just has to fix up the names. We'll fix them up. Beautiful. Beautiful. As we are going to be opening up here, so far we do have our hatch first opener out of Rogue. Both players opening up hatch first. Standard opener so far. Likewise, behind this, remember this is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in left side, right side, and top side, so 3 possible spawn locations. And as always, I'm curious to see how Rogue does handle himself against 3-point. ZvZ is, I mean, like, all the mirror matchups are very, very different. They have different dynamics. Of course, we have Rogue, who has access to Ling Bane, a sort of Ling Bane composition into Roach play. From the side of 3-point, he has Ling into potentially a Muta play. He is most likely going to be taking into Hydras and Lurkers. That is a more common kind of mid-game composition here for ZvZ. We'll keep an eye on our players. I think this is going to be a really nice challenge for Rogue as well, just because 3-point, he's one of the stronger Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. I would say he's top 2 alongside Shin. As I mentioned before, maybe I'm giving too much credit to Shin, but just because he has been a little bit less active as of late, so I would say it's a little bit harder to judge. But yeah, I would still say that they're top 2. And Shin did not make it into the playoffs. Oh, but we're going into an early Evo chamber. Okay, so early Evo chamber into early +1 melee, into what looks to be an early Ling Flood. So much more aggressive build. Meanwhile, we just see 3-point going into 2-base lair. He skips Ling speed in favor of the faster lair. He's walling up on 2 bases. If we are going 2-base lair, there's a higher chance that this is going to be 2-base Muta. So interesting setup. There's that melee upgrade that we did mention. Again, Rogue, he can Ling Flood. He can, and this would be more ideal if 3-point was expanding, but 3-point isn't. Because he's staying on 2 bases, he can wall up. But Rogue, he slips in. And Rogue slips in, he gets out full scouts. And Rogue, he will confirm that the lair is about to finish, and there is no Ling speed. Meanwhile, Rogue, it was +1 at melee first into Ling speed, so this is lined up to finish up at the same time. So it'll be a strong +1 timing. And there's that Spire. Rogue, he is aware. He already scouts. He confirms. Rogue, he's aware of 2-base Muta. And Rogue is going for the Bane Bust. So he's going for the bust. He's going for the all-in. The goal here for Rogue is to kill 3-point before Mutas. And there is an opening here. We got to wall up. 3-point, he didn't scout the main base. He's not fully aware. Rogue just has free vision. Remember, Brutal Zerg, no queens. Or I should say, the queen is a very different unit. There's no early game anti-air. So the Overlord can just park itself in the bases. So Rogue has free scouting. Meanwhile, we have more side defense on the way. The Zergling scout, I believe, confirms the lack of saturation. So that might have been enough of a tell here for 3-point to recognize that the all-in is coming. And we need to fully wall up as best we can. We need more colonies. Here comes the Bane Bust. And the only defensive units here are these three spine callers, these 3 sunken colonies. That's all that there is, and really there's only 2 of them. We have a 3rd one on the way. Here comes the Bane Bust. The first colony should go down. Speaking of, does break through. He takes down the first, now trying to break through that wall. Things are flooding in. Remember, there's no transfuse. Mutas are on the way. Okay, Muta production has begun. The hatchery is getting low. The hatchery is going to go down. We have a couple of Scourge. Catching the Overlord. Oh! That was a bit of a pause. There was a bit of a pause here as Lings, they flood into the main. And we're still just flooding. We're still just Ling flooding here. And 3Point will eventually clean everything with these mutas, but how many drones will he lose? So far, that's 7 drone kills, and we're still not done. Final colony goes down. Lings, they get into the mineral lines. That's going to be, what, another 12 drone kills. 13 even. 13, 14 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. That's brutal damage. Oh no, Rogue, he slips in a couple of Lings. We have 3 Banelings morphing inside the base of 3Point. And 3Point, he doesn't know. He didn't notice. Yeah, he didn't notice those Zerglings. Behind this 3Point, he's switching into Lurker tech. And ideally, Rogue, he wants to cause a distraction. He wants to distract. Lings, they pick the natural. And Banelings are waddling in. Banelings, they waddle into the mineral line. No reaction. No response. Oof. 6 more drones going down. 7 more drone kills. Lings, they even break through the wall. Oh, God. And Rogue, he should be able to run away with it. Once again, he splits off a couple of Lings. Morphing in more Banelings. Did 3Point notice this time? Did he notice? No, I don't think he did. Yeah, cheeky moves here by Rogue, and 3Point, he doesn't notice that Lings did peel off. So we're doing it again. Once again, we're causing a distraction. Once again, we're waddling in with the Banelings. Behind this, Rogue has been joining, been saturating, getting plenty of anti-air, queens and spine crawlers. Sorry, queens and spores, I should say. Banelings, they waddle in. Once again, a reaction. 6 more drone kills. Jesus. And 3Point, he has no economy. He's down to 15 workers. That's less than a 1 base economy. Ay, ay, ay. And 3Point is all in. He's all in at this point. We have our lunkers moving forward. We've got 4 lunkers, Pappy, 4 lunkers. Oof. And Rogue, he has no roaches yet. Yeah, Rogue's roach production is delayed. He'll fix that on anti-air. Queens are going down. These lurkers are actually getting a lot of damage here. As Rogue, he's been quite greedy. I say greedy, he's been very one-track minded here with purely spores and queens. So we go, roaches are trickling out. These lurkers are trading well for themselves. They do trade well, but alas, there's not many of them. Down to 2 lurkers. Down to 2. Another queen goes down. And again, down to 1 lurker. Final lurker does fall. And Rogue holds. Rogue, he holds. Remember, 3Point is all in. Like, this push had to end the game. And he traded well for himself, but not enough damage. As Rogue, he has a booming economy in comparison. So Rogue will just outscale. GG gets called, and Rogue, he takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. He does take a lead in the series. And again, he was able to scout, able to confirm the attempted 2-base muta out of his opponent, and he reacted with the all-in. Was able to Bane Bust. We saw that unfortunately 3Point, he had a late scout. He had a late scout as to what was happening, a late realization of the all-in. We have seen 3Point shut down these all-ins before when going 2-base muta, as he would typically respond with more stack defense, more walls, more sunken colonies. But again, the scout was more delayed, so less time to prepare, less setup. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Vermeer. We go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the, once again, StarCraft 2 Zerg player. He's being allowed to play SE2. Ooh. Okay. Interesting choice. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons leading the series 1-0. It is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent going for the 12 pool. We have the Brood War Zerg player for Team Hyper 1. It is a 3-point. I'll fix up his colors. There we go. Here we go. So 12 pool at a 3-point. We do have a hatch first out of Rogue. I'm sure 3-point did notice. Last game, Rogue also went hatch first on Sylphid. Here he's going hatch first on Vermeer. It is a 4-player small map. We can see that 3-point, he's aware that Rogue is either top right or top left. I should also emphasize this as well. This is a 4-player small map, but specifically in StarCraft Evolution, there is a change that they made where already one of the possible spawn locations is removed for both players. So 3-point, he knows that Rogue is not bottom left, and Rogue knows that 3-point isn't bottom left either. So one of the possible spawn locations is removed specifically for 4-player small maps. It is a way to help out when it comes to reacting and scouting and responding to all-ins. To remove a little bit of the RNG. As Rogue confirms that 3-point is not top right. And here come the Zerglings. Here come a couple of boys as well. Boys are being pulled. This should be for a Sunken Colony rush. Again, Rogue, he went hatch first. And I believe 3-point should be heavily favored here to break him. I believe in the meta of ZvZ, for players that are familiar with StarCraft Evolution, which Rogue is not, it is more standard to go pool first because of this Sunken rush. So we'll see if Rogue can shut this down. The boys are being pulled. Can he out control 3-point? It does get us around. Nicely done. Does around, but the colony's on the way, and I believe it should finish. Lings are being dealt with, but Rogue, I don't know if he can do. Oh, he can. He'll force to cancel. Not bad. Very nice defense. Yeah, Rogue, the surround that earlier was brutal, and he will force a cancel, and Rogue will shut this down. Very impressive. Should shut down the colonies. As he pulls away, which means they're going to finish. It looks like he wanted to secure kills. He didn't want to cancel. Okay, good. Did want to secure the kills. Looking at the Unicells tab, that is crazy. 1 drone kill. He killed 2 sunken colonies, 1 creep colony, 12 lings for 1 drone and 6 lings. A very clean defense here by Rogue. Very impressive. And 3-point, he's falling further behind. This is a very rough position for 3-point. I'm sure the spawn locations were a factor. It was cross-spawn, so longer rush distance by ground. It gave Rogue more time. And here comes the second wave. Second all-in. And Rogue confirms. God, that's a lot of links. Rogue, he confirms. Back at home, we have colonies on. Also, we have colonies. We have spine crawlers on the way. He's fully walling up his natural. Second queen is coming down for added DPS over the wall. As Rogue actually gets a secondary wall as well. Colonies are on the way. Queens are getting free damage on the lings. Walls are finishing. And we should soon see a transfuse to get the queens up and running. There we go. 1 Evo Chamber goes down. Spine Crawler is done. Oh, the Broodling's even trading. And again, these colonies, they will finish. Spine Crawler's within range. We can even attack from the high ground. True. He can attack from the high ground. And GG. GG gets called 3-point. He cannot break through. And Rogue, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Again, a very impressive defense out of Rogue to shut down the initial all-in, to shut down the initial spine rush. Again, he has some very nice worker control to surround 3-point, to get a full surround, to shut down those initial Zerglings, and to force a cancel on that first sunken colony as well. Very impressive. GG. GG. Well played with that. Rogue, he is 1 game away from claiming the entire series. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Kipster in the chat, to Kipsteer 86. Thank you so much, Pappy God. Thank you so much for subscribing for 5 months, almost half a year of support. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you. As we're getting into potentially the final game of the series, and once again, he's allowed to play we'll get into it, but spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the SC2 Zerg player. We have South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Going for a 13-12. And spawning, 13-12. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. Going for a 15-15. It is 3-point. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting dynamic here. So Rogue, with a 13-12, is going to be rushing into Link Speed. He could stay in gas and turn this into a Bane Bust. So he could commit into a Bane Bust here, or he could just go for a Link Flood. He does have some options with how he wants to invest his gas. Behind this, we do see that 3-point is going for a Hatch first opener. What looks to be a Hatch gas pool. If so, this is going to be lining up better for Rogue, and we'll see if 3-point can survive this. Does go for a spawning pool before Gas Geyser, thankfully, so he will be able to get a little bit of earlier Link production, and hopefully an earlier Sunken Colony once he realizes what's going on. But it is more difficult to scout these early rushes, specifically on Maganatha. The reason for this is because this Overlord Scout will not see the Lings. Lings, because of the attack path on this map, they can bypass the Overlord, they can skirt around the edge, and it takes a little bit longer for the Overlord to really confirm what's going on. That is one of the big downsides of Maganatha, and why something like a 12 pool or a 13-12 is stronger on this map, as Lings are fanning out, and this Overlord won't see anything until it hits the natural base. Link Speed is on the way. You can see the Rogue he pulls out, so he's not going for the Bane Bust. So he pulls out of gas, so purely Link Speed. As Lings are amassing, 3-point is still trying to scout. Does make a wave of Zerglings. Okay. Does move in. Lings, they're flying across the map. Remember, there is that earlier Link Speed timing for Rogue, much earlier, and now 3-point knows. And now he sees the progression of the hatchery. He knows that it's not done, so he's aware it was an earlier pool. We have the colony on the way. True. He just has to buy time for the colony, and then it'll be okay. As 3-point, he is holding. They should be able to hold on. Lings, they sip into the bases, but there are plenty of Zerglings to defend. And 3-point will shut this down. Ooh, okay. He's even got a Sunken Colony in the main. You could argue a bit of an overreaction. Jesus. He's investing very hard into this stack defense. Remember, Rogue is droning. Now, Rogue is behind. True, he is behind. But this is a big investment here from 3-point. Throwing down more colonies, more wolves. Again, he's terrified that another wave is coming. Things are spotted. 3-point's moving out. Rogi checks the wall. And Rogi preemptively pulls back with the queen. Pulls back, he pulls away. Oh, it does get a surround though. Yeah, brutal surround. The other queen a little bit late to respond. One queen falls. Very nice pick off here by 3-point. Gets surrounded, but did get a queen, did deny mining, and does get a drone. One drone did go down, so not bad. From here we can turn this into 2 base muta. So 2 base mutas on the way. We saw this attempted in game 1 from 3-point, and now he can more comfortably get into it here as well. Nice to wake up at 4 AM and start watching StarCraft. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. Get some rest, man. Get some rest. As we're waiting for the lair to get into that spire. After what happened in game 1, Rogue, he should be familiar with, I mean, he sees everything, true. Like, the Overlords, they see everything, so Rogue, he's fully aware of the attempted muta play. Spire's thrown down at the natural. Rogue, he sees it. He knows. Now, just because he knows doesn't mean he can stop it. Because of his disrupted economy early on, he can't really commit to an all-in like he did previously. So Rogue is going to have to be defensive. As 3-point, he does break out. Spire is almost done. So far, just containing Rogue on 2 bases. Nice pickup. Does contain. And on the one hand, yes, Rogue, he should be able to defend on 2 bases against the muta play as Spore production has begun. But at the same time, the 3-point should be able to freely expand. And from here, he can switch out of muta into lurker tech. He can switch into lurkers. Get into hive tech, saturate his 3rd base. 3-point has options. Rogue less so. They move in, they once again cancel the 3rd base. Rogue is trying to hold on here. No Spore. Yeah, no Spore. The natural GG gets called, and with that 3-point, he will overwhelm. He will put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, the game did begin with Rogue going for a 13-12, which was a bold move, but as we saw the conies already in time, we saw that 3-point did not go hatch gas pool, he went hatch pool. He went hatch pool, so the pool was done earlier, which means conies were available earlier as well. Once they finished up, he held. He held, he defended, and with that, Rogue, he fell behind. He fell further behind here, and now we have a series. Thankfully, we have a series, we have it back and forth. Interesting, as Rogue, so my big criticism so far in the series was that 3-point, he was allowing Rogue to play StarCraft 2 Zerg, which I feel like is Rogue at his best, at his strongest. That's something that was concerning me, but with Rogue losing that last game, Rogue is deciding to play with Brood War Zerg. Okay, let's go, show us what you got. I'm ready, Pappy, I'm ready. As we are getting into Pylon. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the... Oh, let's go. It's going for the 12 pool. We have the red Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from claiming this series. Going for the 12 pool, it is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg, the SE2 Zerg. For Hyper 1, it is 3-point. Wait, what just happened? Was that misclick? He canceled the pull. Did he misclick the pull to cancel? He was meant to cancel the gas geyser, yes, but what just happened? What? what just was that? Was that not intent? That wasn't intentional, right? Like, did he box the pull by accident? I mean, now we expand, but okay. We're going hatch pull. Ah. Let's go. So an interesting setup here from Rogue, interesting early game, as he will be bleeding out some early resources because of all the cancellations. Interesting start. Oh boy. Okay. let's go. From here, we just see threepoint is able to get into his own gas first. Link speed is on the way, as he did open up gas, a pull into a delayed hatchery. So early link speed here from threepoint. And Rogue, he is going to try to settle in here. As this is going to be a very fast link speed timing, and we're staying in gas. Bane bust. This should be a Bane bust here from our Zerg player. I mean, we're holding on to a lot of gas. We can't afford a Baneley nest. What's the plan? Do we go for the net? There it is. Baneley nest is on the way. A little bit more delayed here for threepoint, but it's on the way nonetheless. Threepoint moves out. I mean, he confirmed the earlier hatchery. And to defend against this Rogue, he will need to wall up, wall off, and get those spine coolers or those sunken colonies up and running. Yeah, the early game was either a bit of a misclick or just indecisiveness out of Rogue. One or the other. From here, Lair is on the way. He's going to base Lair. He's walling up, but Rogue, he hasn't seen much. He saw how late the hatchery was. Now he sees link speed. He knows. Yeah, now he knows he needs to fully wall up, fully wall off. He needs more colonies. But getting there earlier Lair might kill him. Some of the larva breaks through the front door. Lings are flooding in. So far, one colony to defend. Is the one colony going to be enough? Ooh, does fully wall off. Clutch moves. And Clutch moves out of Rogue. He denies reinforcements. Two Baneleys morphing in. Rogue, can he shut this down? Spots the Banelings. He's aware. Denies both, and Rogue, he's holding. Wow, Rogue, he's holding on with the bare minimum as well. He defended against the gas first with a singular spine crawler with a singular colony. Okay, impressive. Now he's fully walling up though. But it does mean that he gets away with the lair. He gets away with the lair, which means he can start to tech up. Unfortunately, the drone count is lackluster because he had to spend so many drones on this wall. And threepoint is droning. Threepoint is droning up. And you can definitely argue that Rogue, he overcommitted here. Spire is on the way. Rogue, he has to drone as hard as he can. Just chasing the Lings. Remember, Rogue doesn't have Link speed, intentionally so. So keeping up with the Lings is not easy. I mean, they're not really doing much anyway. They're just keeping Rogue busy. As threepoint is droning, getting into +1 melee. Threepoint, he is aware of the 2 ace muta. And threepoint still has a shaky economy. Oh no, okay. As he has to break down his door to get into mining. There we go. Actually make use of the larva here at the macro hatchery. From here we're droning. Muta production has begun. We just see threepoint responding with his own lair. Interesting. 2-base lair. Would threepoint respond with his... No, I was going to say muta play, but muta versus muta is very different in StarCraft Evolution because of the Scourge, right? The Scourge is a big factor that does deter muta play from occurring from the SE2 side of things. So this most likely should just be fast, either fast infestation pit for fast spellcasters or fast Hydra Den into Hydra production. We'll see which is going to be. Meanwhile, Rogue, he's switching into his Hydrogen as well, switching into his own Lurker production. And there's the Hydrogen from 3-point. So both players switching to Hydras, both players working towards eventually Lurkers as well. Takes the zone away. Lurker tech is being researched. Getting into those Lurkers. We are still just taking up. 3-point, I'm curious if he's recognized that there's a lower mute count. That it hasn't gotten bigger, I should say. If so, then it would be wise to get into his own Lurker tech a little bit faster. As Hydras are amassing. We have Rogue going a Ling Lurker. As Lurkers have morphed in. We have 6 Lurkers here for Rogue. Getting into 7, pushing in. He has been scouted. Yeah, he has been spotted. Lurkers do borrow. 1 Lurker does get picked up. Player's still just forcing his way in. And no detection. Wow, no detection whatsoever. Queens go down. Hydra's going to be zoned away. Now we can just go straight for the 3rd. And 3-point can't do anything about it. Oh god! He's now pushing in. The Spore, true, the Spore does push forward. But now there are more Lurkers. And the Lurkers was just catching 3-point with his pants down. Again, it was getting ready for the Mutas, so it was not ready for the Lurkers. And Rogue, he will overwhelm. And takes over the Hydras, takes over the Natural. And GG gets called. Rogue, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Rogue, as it does claim the series a bit of a faster best of 5 compared to the initial one. But again, we did have some cheeky builds, some cheeky play. We had no standard back and forth macro, but we don't expect that between 3-point and Rogue. Like, they're typically more aggressive, more active, more in your face. And with that, Rogue was able to claim it in the end. It was a bit of a shakier start when it came to Rogue's decision as to whether he was going to go pool first or hatch first or how he wanted to open up. But in the end, he had a really nice defense. I was most impressed by Rogue's defensive play, to be honest, both in this game and on, was it on Maganatha, where he was able to defend beautifully against the 13-12 of his opponent. When we saw 3-point, sorry, it wasn't Maganatha, but it was 3-point trying to go for the 13-12, trying to link flood, and we saw that Rogue, he was able, sorry, it was a 12 pull, I think, and Rogue was able to pull the boys, get a surround on the Lings, right? It was a Sunken Colony rush, and he defended beautifully against the Sunken rush. It was insane defense out of Rogue. He lost 1 drone. He lost 1 drone to that defense. That was insane. And yeah, that was a bit of a sign of things to come. So really impressive defense out of Rogue throughout multiple points in this series, and with that, GG, Rogue does advance on, and we have Tasia versus Rogue in the upper semi-finals. I mean, hey, I kind of got ahead of myself. We can switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. As you can see here, Tasia took down Cure 3-1, advancing onto the semis, and Rogue took down 3-point 3-1 as well. So it's going to be Tasia versus Rogue in those upper semi-finals, but we are going to be covering that for day 2. That's going to be in a couple of days' time. For now, we're focusing on the rest of the quarterfinals. We have Beyond versus Creator and Classic versus Mana. We still have 2 more matches remaining in the round of 8. 2 more matches to go. As up next is going to be Beyond versus Creator. Two good friends facing off. I do look forward to it. They are going to be... I do look forward to it just because they do face off quite often in SE2. They trade back and forth. But I don't think I've had the luxury of casting them in StarCraft Evolution. So we'll see how they compare. We'll see. We'll see. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Kipsteer in the chat. Gab, I mean, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Fractal in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Esther Kipsteer. Oh no. Some reason ZvZ is always the best mirror matchup for me. It's always so much fun to watch. For sure, for sure. ZvZ is always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we didn't really get into the mid game. Like, I'm still thinking of like some of my favorite ZvZs in the history of StarCraft Evolution was Shin versus Dark in last year's StarCraft Evolution Championship. Like, that's still burned into my skull. Like, that's still like I don't think that we've seen a ZvZ quite top that, but one day we'll get into it, where we had like more of like a macro mid-game ZvZ. Like, we had like what was it, Devourer like Muta, like Devourer Guardian against Hydra Lurker Viper. It was crazy. I don't think we've quite reached that yet, but one day we'll get there again. Guardian Devourer versus Hydra Lurker Viper. Crazy. For now, though, we are going to be going on a short break because we do have another gifted sub in the chat. To Rigel. Thank you so much. Esther Kipsteer. Calm down, baby, calm down. But thank you so much for the support. Always do appreciate it. I'm sure those receiving subs in the chat will appreciate it as well. If you want to take advantage of that sub, you do gain subs, emotes, of course, in the chat, but you also gain access to subscriber replay packs. We do give out replay packs on our Discord server to our subscribers. So if you want access to some of the matches that we cover here on the channel, then replay packs are available to you, so you'd have access. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. We're halfway through the broadcast. We're going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have Beyond versus Creator facing off. We'll see you soon after the break.